Easy Rock is proud to welcome Canadian legends Jim Cuddy and Greg Keelor from Blue Rodeo. Thanks for doing this, guys.
Oh, pleasure. Thanks for having us in.
Excellent. The first question I have to ask is, why are you here? I mean, a lot of people are trying to figure out how to get tickets to the show.
You know, I don't know why it seems so unusual. I guess we've never done it before as a duo. But to come out and do a promo tour and, you know, beat the kettle drums a little bit about having a new record out, it seems normal. I guess for us, it's easier for us to also have as strong a musical component as we can. I mean, it's easier for us to play than talk.
And if we didn't have a record out, we wouldn't be here.
Now let's talk about that new record. What's it called?
It's called The Things We Left Behind.
And it's
a double CD, DVD, not DVD, album. So we're quite happy. It's our 13th record, and it's a gatefold double LP. So that's we like that.
Nice. One of the things about Blue Rodeo that you guys, I think, put some thought into what you create, the music and your lyrics, and is the title of the album and the single from the record, is it a musical or is it a personal kind of message?
Well, I think that it's, what happens is you sort of get all these songs together and then you try to figure out the song whose title has the greatest resonance, and then once you sort of put it as the title, then all of a sudden I think what happens is there's a lot of gathering of themes. So you think, okay, well, the things we left behind, it could easily be seen as for an older band as perspectives you left behind, obviously relationships you left behind, and if you look through the songs, then it's easy to sort of come up with all these kind of connections. So I think it's it's a little bit of kismet, a little bit of which comes first. And
one of the things I think is interesting about your band is that you can run into somebody on the street with a cowboy hat that's a Blue Rodeo fan. You can run into somebody on the street with a Metallica t-shirt, they're a Blue Rodeo fan. Is it easier or even harder now, the longer you guys have been doing this, to pick out a Blue Rodeo fan at your shows or on the streets?
Well, and also you mentioned that they come dressed up in different ways, but then it's multi-generational too. It's grandmothers, the children, the grandchildren. It's a very pleasant concoction for us. We like that our fans are of many different ages, and it's nice to play to a university crowd, and then it's nice to go to a bar and play for geezers.
This is I got a sort of a two-part question here. Question for Jim and then a question for Greg. When I was asking people about Blue Rodeo, give me some ideas for questions, and we were going back and forth, and I was jotting down some notes. It kept coming up that you're a bit of maybe a reluctant, but a Canadian sex symbol, Jim.
He's not the least bit reluctant.
That's why Greg's here. Keep it honest. Keep it honest.
Well, I'm repulsive, so it's
no, you're beautiful.
I'm a repulsive sex symbol.
In an aberrant kind of way, you're beautiful.
Are you annoyed by his sex symbol status, Greg, a little bit?
I love the second part of the question best.
Well, Jim hasn't answered the first part, so I'll wait till he answers, and then I'll let you know what I think.
Well, okay, so you have to understand that being in a band is a very intoxicating thing.
Yes.
On both ends, for being in and for other people. So, I mean, I go a lot of places in the world, and I have a family, so I know what I'm really like.
Yeah.
And so, whatever happens because of the band is great. I mean, what's not to like about that? People think you're whatever. As long as it's good, it's no problem. But I don't think I'm at risk of all of a sudden thinking I'm going to be so beautiful, too beautiful for this world.
I guess the name of the song would kind of lend to a question like this. And not that I want you to get into, potential regret or what you haven't accomplished yet. But is there anything you guys as a band haven't done that you'd like to do?
I think we started out with pretty modest goals, and our goals are really to just keep going. I mean, it's a great triumph to after 20 some odd years still be making original music and have people give a damn. And so I think that for us, I'm sure that many people would wonder if we worried about being popular in the States, and we have a lot of success and things to do in Canada, and we have a modest little thing we can do in the States, and I don't know that I would trade one for the other. You know, I think that where we've been drawn to in Canada has been worth whatever we've sacrificed in the States.
Are you surprised by your success? Was this a goal? Were you guys just playing music in a basement in Toronto?
When you're young and ambitious and you want to conquer the world, you know, we actually thought of ourselves in terms of being bigger than this. You know, we thought of ourselves as being, you know, big everywhere. You know, we wanted to be big in England and America and all over. And then, as Jim was saying, you know, the years go on and we achieved a very nice place in Canadian music. And, you know, other parts of the world didn't follow the same way, but who cares? It would have been too much work. You know, one reason maybe why we've lasted is because we're just popular in Canada. We don't have to travel around the world all the time.
You guys are in town tonight. You're doing a promotional tour for the release of the new album, which is in stores next Tuesday. What are you coming? Are you doing a Canadian tour? Can you give us any details?
Well, I think it's just announced today, but we'll be back in Edmonton at the Jubilee sometime in January. I think it's probably early in January, the first couple of weeks of January. Okay. So our full tour, we're going to be doing Victoria and Vancouver at the end of this month because of the Olympics put everything off. But otherwise, our tour really starts in Calgary and Red Deer and Edmonton and goes east, and we'll be doing that for a couple months.
I know you guys are sports fans. So you're looking forward to doing the halftime show with the Grey Cup?
Big time. I was very excited by that. I think that's a once in a lifetime for a band, and that's. I'm glad it's in Calgary. I'm glad it looks like Calgary might be in it, and I guess that's not a good thing to say up in Edmonton.
You may get chased out of the city here in the next hour or two.
Look, I'm from Toronto. Okay, I suffer. I don't need anybody telling me. I don't need anybody telling me how tough it is to be a sports fan. All right, Blue Jays, Argos, Leafs, the Toronto FC. Yeah, the Raptors. Okay, I know losing.
It's a little like Christmas every time I watch highlights because not only does Montreal suck this year, but also Toronto. It's great for a Western boy to watch those two teams doing as bad as they are in hockey.
So cool.
Right.
Wow. So we know about your Canadian tour, and the new album is called "The Things We Left Behind." It's in stores next Tuesday, November 10th. If I got the date right.
That's all right.
I did manage to track down the dates of your show in Edmonton.
Okay.
You're doing 2 nights here, January 7th and 8th.
7 and 8.
At the Jubilee Auditorium.
Right.
So as soon as we find out some ticket information, we'll get that on Easy Rock. Thanks a lot, guys. That was awesome.
Thank you for having us in.
The whole double album that's coming out.
Thanks, man.